Hi, I'm Monet Swann, and welcome to The Mirror. Now, I want you to stop for a moment and take a deep breath. Did you click on this by accident? And no, I'm not saying the universe has hacked your algorithm. I'm saying something in you is tired of your same old story. Something in you is done performing. Something in you is ready to look into the mirror. Have you felt it? That kind of quiet shift? That kind of strange calm, that sense that even though nothing big has happened yet, something has already happened. And that's awareness. And awareness changes everything because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you become aware, you can't blame life the same way anymore. Now, let's talk honestly about faith because most of you say you haven't. But faith is not hoping that something good will happen. Faith is not crossing your fingers and saying, I just believe it's going to work out all right for me. That's wishful thinking dressed up in church clothes. Real faith is belief in the system. It's understanding that what you see in this 3D reality is not the cause. It's the result of what you have been believing in. Faith is trusting that what's happening underneath the surface that you can't see, well, that it's structured, it's ordered, it's intelligent, even when you can't see it. You don't see gravity, but you don't test it by jumping off buildings. And you don't see Wi Fi, but you trust it enough to stream your favorite show. But when it comes to your life, oh, suddenly you need 14 signs, a prophetic dream, a text message confirmation, and your best friend's approval. Why? Because you haven't examined your inner talk. So let me paint you a picture. I once met a woman who looked successful by every external measure. She had a good job, nice home, polished presence. But every time something good happened, she would whisper, well, let's see how long this will last. She'd get a promotion. Mm, they'll figure out I'm not that good. New relationship. He's going to leave me eventually. Opportunities. This is just too good to be true. Now, guess what kept happening? Exactly that. Not because she was cursed, because she was more faithful to her inner talk, to herself about the loss. Her inner dialogue was more consistent than her prayers and her beliefs. Psychology calls this confirmation bias. Your brain scans for evidence to support what you already believe about yourself. So, spiritually, we say, as within, so without. The mirror just reflects what is seen by you. It doesn't argue, it doesn't debate, it doesn't say, are you sure? It says, yes. You don't attract what you want, you guys. You attract what you are. And here's the uncomfortable truth other people can see what you're attracting, they can see the repeated drama, they can see the shortage mindset, they can see the insecurity trying to wear confidence like it's a costume. But you call it bad luck. Let me give you another story. Now, this is a man who once told me, Monet, I just can't catch a break financially. But in the same breath, he said, well, money is hard. And, rich people, they're greedy. And of course, there's just never enough. And then lastly, he would say, I'm just not good with numbers. So, which identity do you think his nervous system felt safe with? Right. All the things he was telling himself about why he's not rich. Because your subconscious doesn't move you toward what you say you want. It moves you toward what feels familiar, even if familiar is struggle, even if familiar is chaos, and even if familiar is disappointment. That's why you can pray for peace and you still choose arguments. You can pray for abundance and still think lack. I'm just not going to have enough this month. You can pray for love and still expect betrayal. Faith is not believing something will happen. Faith is believing the unseen structure is already in place to get you where you want to go. It's understanding that creation is finished in the sense that every version of you already exists as a state. The confident you, the healed you, the disciplined you, the abundant you. They're not waiting in the future. They're here right now. Those identities are available right now to you. And the mirror is not asking you what you want. It's showing you who you are being. If it were already done, you would be that person. Would you still panic over every delay? Would you still stalk the evidence? Would you still narrate worst case scenarios in your head? Or would you be steady? There's a difference between hoping and knowing. Hope carries tension. Knowing carries calm. When you're truly shifted, you stop obsessing. You stop over explaining. You stop checking every few seconds. You just are. And let me say this with a little love and a little sarcasm. You cannot spend 20 years saying, I'm not good enough, and then get mad at the mirror for agreeing with you. The mirror is loyal. You say, nobody values me. And the mirror says, understood. You say, nothing ever works out. And the mirror says, got it. Not because life hates you, but because life reflects who you think you are. The shift begins when you turn inward and ask, what am I saying to myself when no one else is around? What do I rehearse in private? What identity have I normalized? Because awakening doesn't happen in pretending, it happens in honesty. So instead of saying, this always happens to me, try saying, this is an echo of who I used to be. Instead of saying, I hope it works, I hope it works, I hope it works. Try saying, it is aligning even if I can't see it. Because the outer world operates on delay. What you see today is yesterday's consciousness. So when things look the same, it doesn't mean nothing's changed. It means old momentum is slowing way down. Kind of like a train gradually losing speed. And most people panic and jump off before it stops. They react to the reflection and then they blame the mirror. Emotional discipline is spiritual maturity. It's seeing chaos and staying centered, seeing delay and staying certain, seeing contradiction and remaining aligned. Because faith is loyalty to the unseen system, and the system responds to identity. So here's your work for this week. Look into your inner mirror, not the one on the bathroom wall, the one behind all your thoughts that you say to yourself. And I want you to listen carefully to how you speak when you fail, when you win, and when you wait. Are you rehearsing power or rehearsing limitations? Because this 3D reality is simply saying, show me who you are, and I'll show you your world. You don't get what you want, you experience who you are. So be intentional, be honest, be courageous enough to shift the inner talk before demanding outer change. And remember this, the mirror does not create your life, it confirms your identity. Change the identity, and the reflection has no choice but to show you the real you that presently exists. Thank you for sharing the mirror with me, you guys. And I'll see you next week. I'm Monet Swann. Love you guys, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye.